Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Texans on three. Hey man, we shaking it up tonight, man. We got my boy Nitty. He's not in. Take care of some business, of course, to draft guard. Pat, and he's not in. But we got a special guest. He's family. We got the man, the mellow, my ace, mellow Mike. What's happening, man?
What's going good, guys? Happy to be here. Happy to support
Oh,
the
the
family.
volume is not coming through.
Coming through. Now we just got to hope our Texans come through on Thursday.
I'm not hearing no volume.
No volume from me. I'm not muted.
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Huh.
Hold on one second. Little technical difficulties, but we get this situated.
My mic is going good. I'm seeing some green dots on my microphone down here.
Hold on one second, people. Yeah, the
Anything?
volume is not here for me.
Not hearing from me. Anything at all?
Let me
Give me
let
just
me
a
do
second.
something
I
control
jumped in on
wise.
my
Give me
iPad.
one moment, Mike.
Could it be connected to your hearing aids?
Mm.
Can you hear me yet?
My volume is not coming.
You're muted now.
Can you hear anything?
I can hear you. Frank, can you
I
hear
can't
me?
hear anything, man.
Kill it. 1 minute.
Mm. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I can hear myself through the stream. I got my YouTube pulled up. I rewind it, but I can't hear myself through the earphones or through my phone, period.
Killer, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, there we go. I just had to reset something. Logged out, logged
Okay.
back in.
I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, there we
I can hear you now.
Cool. We are good to
All
go
right.
then.
All right, man. Hey, this is what a live stream looks like. So, hey, we had some technical difficulties, but hey, here we are, man. Like I said, introduction again. We got my man Mellow Mike in, man. Hey, thank you for stepping in. We got the regular squad. They taking care of some business. Nitty, draft guard Patton. I know Patton hooked up with you earlier, and also we got the fourth member, the ghetto boy, Dr. Larry Payton. He's not in tonight, but I'm quite sure he gonna check into the bull ring. And hey, bro, it's just me and you tonight, man. So
Chopping it up.
hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, great to have you on once again, man. We love having you on, but right now this is just a one-on-one session with me and you. So we about to get just get into it, man. And let's start with last week's game.
All right.
What do you remember about last week's game, and what is the plus and the minus of what you saw last week? Talk
Last
to me.
week's game, what I remember was a game that was closer than it should have been. I mean, you
Mm,
had a Tennessee Titans secondary that was missing their starting two corners from the season at
all
the
right.
very beginning. What's his name? Sneed. And then
Yeah.
they traded away McCreary. And then they
Mm,
had Jalen Armour Davis out there. And they had what was his name? David Baker Jr., I think.
mm,
And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, if you're not somebody that's a Titans fan, you're having to look up who these guys are because you have no clue.
yeah.
And I
Had
thought
no
there was
clue.
like nobody that was in that secondary that was going to match up with Nico.
Right.
So, I mean, just watching that game, I thought for sure that we had an advantage with Nico versus that secondary. And they did start feeding Nico, but it was still just closer than what I felt and probably a lot of Texas fans felt it should have been.
Right. Um. The one thing that I remember is and this is a friendly shot against to my partner Nitty. You know, everybody's so excited to see Woody Marks play.
Yep.
I've always just said that I just feel like that Chubb should start the game. But one thing I can say is D'Amico said it, and you can see it in this game. Davis Mills plays the game so even keel. Like he doesn't get too excited. Like he just really calm. And you know, we got to realize Davis been doing this thing for like this is CJ third year, so this is Davis fifth year.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much like he's been prepped for this to get to this moment. This is why when people was questioning why did Nick Casario give him extension in the offseason, because I mean you didn't want to go into the season with Graham Mertz and you didn't want to go into the season with somebody else that wasn't accustomed to the way that the Texans do things. So you had a guy in the building, pay him a little bit more money, and you know, this is what he's supposed to do. But I will hit on this right quick because for the last couple of weeks, I've been the one that say feed Nico. And I didn't say I said force feed Nico. And I think a lot of people got that like, oh, you just got to throw to Nico every single time.
No.
All I said was Nico needs to get between 10 and 12 targets a game, which every top, you know, number one wide receiver across the league that finished the year with 100 catches, 15 to 1800 yards, and double digit touchdowns, they normally going to finish the season with between 160 and 185 targets.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see Nico get the same amount of attention. Now, the one thing I can say with Davis, oh, Davis going to throw it up to Nico. So
Oh
that
yeah.
that's without a doubt. But what I've noticed was with him throwing it to Nico and the safeties and the whole defense have to roll over to his side. You was able to see Higgins, you know, have his probably his career high. I think he had like 5 catches.
Yeah.
We would like to see Noel get more, you know, attention, but you know, that's gonna come. Um, you know, Dalton Schultz, I think Dalton is going to have a career year in catches, receiving yards, and possibly
Yeah.
touchdowns.
And Dalton's a
So
warrior out there, man. I mean, he's been playing banged up. You know, he's out there gritting it out and doing what he has to do. So hats off to Dalton Schultz, man.
yeah, so I mean, it was a it wasn't a it was a, like look, any victory, I'm gonna take it however we get it.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna complain about a victory. I take it however we get it. I just want us to start the game out uh putting points on the board to make them deviate from their game plan.
Absolutely. Too many
You
times
know,
we come out cold and we don't get going until the later half of the game. And against the good football teams like the
right,
one we're going to be facing on Thursday, you can't afford to get behind the clock, man. You got to jump out. You got to get on them fast. You got to
right,
build your lead and let the defense do what it does.
right. So hold that thought about Thursday night game because I want to hit on something right quick. You know, we always go to the bull ring, so you know that is the part of the show that we never like to neglect. So yeah, I'm going to go with let's see. Shout out to Eve. Eve always support. So shout out to Eve. Thank you for being one of my biggest supporters and our biggest supporter. Um, let's see. Man, let's see.
Oh, Brandon going hard in there.
Yeah. I'm trying to see because you know Brandon is always a contributor. Brandon say grab yourself a vape. Okay. But let's get back to that Buffalo topic. Um, what would you think is like last year, just off the top of the head? Josh Allen was 9 for 30,
Mm-hmm.
119 yards. Like probably I wouldn't even say probably his worst NFL game.
It
Like
was.
D'Amico has a way to embarrass quarterbacks. Like he can really put pressure on them. What is the key to stopping Buffalo? And our team haven't been like proficient in putting up points. So let's say that our offense only is able to put up 24 points. How do you hold Buffalo under 24 points?
Well, the key to that is going to be number one, you take away James Cook. That's probably their biggest threat. You take away the crutch of the running game. Number two, and the most important thing that you're going to have to do is that defensive line is going to have to maintain the rush integrity. They have to maintain those rush lanes and keep Josh Allen contained within that pocket. And
Right.
when we go to our games where we're facing mobile quarterbacks, people will tend to complain that our edge rushers are not getting as many sacks and they're not getting after the quarterback. Well, that's because the assignments are different for D'Amico when he does that, because he
Mhm.
uses those edge rushers to contain that quarterback and to preserve the integrity of the corners of that pocket and make that quarterback move up into the defensive tackles who are going to be getting most of their sacks against the mobile quarterbacks.
Right.
And the Buffalo Bills receivers this year have not been very consistent. It's been, you know, Coleman was benched, I think, for disciplinary reasons. There's been Khalil Shakir. Dalton Kincaid is still his favorite target to go to. They occasionally sprinkle in Dawson Knox. And you have to play discipline, but the problem becomes with the Texans when we see the late games. We saw it from Baker Mayfield when he got the scrambles. We saw it last game against Cam Ward. We seen it with Trevor Lawrence. When the Texans get to those late game stages, they're playing a lot of man defense, and the
Right.
corners are with their back to the quarterback. So what'll
Mhm.
happen is once those lanes open up, you see the quarterbacks take off and they're getting those huge chunk plays. And
Right.
that is where they have been killing us right there. Our defense is elite, except for two categories. One is they give up those big plays like that on the run and the quarterback scrambles. And the other area that we struggle in, despite being ranked at the top of the league in most statistical categories, is red zone defense. If teams get
Mhm.
inside of our 20-yard line, we have not been able to stop them. So defensively, that is the game plan. Offensively, it's I think they're missing Ed Oliver in the middle of that defensive line. They
Right.
just got to be able to find a way to go big in there. And if Ed Ingram is healthy, I think they're going to switch up the offensive line again. Titus is going to kick to left guard. Ed'll be in there at right. They'll keep Trent and Ursary out there. And what you're going to see is going with those jumbo packages. And you got Cade Stover back now. So that gives you a little bit better blocking on the edge. And then you throw
Mhm.
in Fisher in there. So these guys can sit there and they hammer the middle of that defense with the running game, because this game here is all about that ball control, taking away possessions from Josh Allen, not giving him too many opportunities, and trying to keep Davis Mills where he doesn't have to throw that football 40 times a game,
Mhm.
and just give him the benefit of that running game, because McDermott, man, he's a defensive guy. He knows, and if you put him back there to where Davis is throwing 40 times, he's going to figure out.
Yeah. Looking at their injury report as of today, not participating is Nicole Hardman calf injury, Curtis Samuel elbow and neck, Dalton Kincaid hamstring, and they have Khalil Shakur as
Yep.
personal, whatever that may mean. But also you hit on Keon Coleman, which he was. Did he play the last game? Was he a healthy scratch the whole game?
Um,
I don't know if I know he. I know he didn't start. I don't know if he played or not. But man, that's
I'll
kind
look
of
that up for you. I'm not too sure. I didn't get to see it. I did hear something about him being disciplined for some reason.
yeah. So they have an extensive injury list. So nevertheless, I go back to what you were saying about Cook. Um, you got to stop that run really early. And I want to put the ball into Josh Allen's hand because I think, like you pointed out early, that the edges have Anderson and Hunter have set the edges, pretty well. So the lanes have to be in the middle, but the lane integrity with the linebackers have to be a whole lot better. I think that Henry Toto has been pretty much underwhelming in missed tackles. Even Aziz. Uh, haven't seen a lot of Christian
DJ Speed.
Harris. Seen
Christian
ha- we
Harris,
seen we seen
the
speed.
only thing we saw from him against Tennessee was he had a special teams tackle. He's been relegated to special teams now.
Yeah, I would like to see a Netflix series on what happened to Christian Harris because that
Him
was
and
a
Joe
guy
Mixon
that
both.
Joe Mixon is due to injury. I could say that. Christian Harris came back last year and supposed to been healthy, and like now we're at 10 games deep, and we're still not seeing a guy that a lot of people had pegged in as a guy that was probably going to be Pro Bowl, and people was wishing for being an All Pro.
Yeah,
So that's kind of puzzling, but we're not gonna belabor that point. But um, with Ed Oliver being out, it's not like Ed Oliver is a great run stopper. He's a disruptor.
yeah,
Um, I would love to see the Texans go back to getting Nick Chubb, get him going early. I mean, Woody Marks is like he's a young guy as far as a rookie, but he's 25 years old. But NFL wise, he's still young. Like it's some mistakes that he made, and I'm glad that the Texans, that D'Amico and the offensive staff didn't pull him off the field because I know he missed a huge third down pickup block.
yeah. He went there, he threw his body in there, and he was just out of position.
He was out of position. And I'm glad that they didn't hold that against him because he's a rookie. Like veterans, they'll say, hey, man, you missed the block. Rookies, they pretty much pull you out. But what are your options is going to be, I don't want to call anybody names, but I'm glad they kept him in there. But I think they need to go back to the rotation of having Nick Chubb, getting started and throw to Woody Marks more out of the backfield.
I agree with that sentiment. And what I've been saying about this is a running back by committee. So your running back one is not really the guy that is starting. It is the guy that is getting the most volume of carries. And we're looking at what is that sweet spot for the carries when you're going between Woody Marks and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, you want to get him at least 8 to 10 carries. And then you want to try to get Woody Marks at least, 10, 15 in that range if you can. But you also want to get Woody Marks involved in that passing game, at least try to target him between 4 and 5 times a game, especially on
Mhm.
those third downs. I mean, we saw the game with him taking a check down 49 yards. He
Right.
has explosiveness, and he is, outside of Nico Collins, probably the most explosive weapon we have in that passing attack right now.
Hmm.
So, Killer, let me ask you something here,
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
because this has been a big talking point among Texans fans. Christian Kirk, what have your feelings been with Christian Kirk and this the receiver rotation?
I think early on, I think he was still dealing with injury. Um, I think that the play calling, the lack of cohesion, CJ still trying to figure out his chemistry with these guys. It's just been like the balance has not been there. I mean, if Christian Kirk is healthy, playing opposite of Nico, do I think that he could be effective? Yeah, because I feel like that he still has speed, But I just think early on in the year starting off, you didn't see the burst, and then you didn't see the chemistry, the timing with CJ and Kirk. CJ was still trying to find, like, CJ haven't really found timing with Nico Collins yet.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of almost like uh and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna jump back to something that I mentioned on the show months ago. I really wish next year when we go into preseason that we don't follow the script of every 31 teams, where the first game, if everybody's healthy, that CJ comes out in the first game and play one series. And then in the second game, he comes out and play 2 to 3 series. And the third game, he may not play at all.
Yeah.
You can't go into a full football season and only have played 30 snaps of football and think you're going to be effective with your timing.
Yep.
So they need to just go ahead and scrap that. I understand they have a gentleman's agreement. Hey man, I want to see my ones against your ones. If I'm Nico, I'm like, look, I need to see my ones against. Hey, look, your twos can get some reps against my ones, but I'm finna run my ones. That first game, we're gonna play the whole first quarter. The second game, we're probably gonna play all of, like, I think Joe Burrow and Cincinnati Bengals played Joe Burrow all the way to mid of the third quarter this year.
Yep.
And so those are the things you have to do to get down timing. And you have so many new wide receivers that CJ is working with. I mean, you had Watson, new, Barrios, new, Hutchinson still trying to find his own. You got two rookies, and you still got your guy Nico. And you just only had Stover for maybe a half a year last year, less than a half a year,
Yep.
and you still developing chemistry with Dalton Schultz. So, and a new offensive coordinator. And of course, a new line. So everything was just like brand new. So my thing is get that chemistry down in the preseason, in the off season, or whatever. But let's not go into the season and just trying to be cute like everybody else. Like, oh yeah, we got this. We look good in
Yeah.
in training camp. No,
A
we
lot of
need to
teams
change.
want to treat the first like 2 weeks of the season like it's also preseason. And you seen what they did with the Texans, because then we go and start out 0-3. And with this offense like that, it's like we could not afford to be in a hole like that, especially not this year. And the one thing I did see with these receivers, though, before CJ got injured, him and Noel had a little bit of a connection there. And
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that is a lot to do with Noel's similarity to Tank Dell and the way that CJ
Mm,
operated with him. I think it's kind of a same type of body, probably not as fluid as Tank is with his route running and stuff like that, but still has that speed, creates that separation. And
right.
for me, when I'm looking at this wide receiver core, I mean, Nico is obviously our number one wide receiver.
Right.
Number two wide receiver, it's you can flip a coin right now, and
Mm,
you probably would not choose wrong between Jaden Higgins and Xavier Hutchinson. And Xavier
I agree with
Hutchinson
you.
was
Yeah.
hot. Higgins has been slowly gaining that chemistry with the quarterbacks.
Right.
Davis was a little bit high with him when he's trying to throw
Hmm.
those balls to him early off. Then he got settled down. CJ
Right.
was having troubles with him, and then they were starting to get a little bit here and there on a few connections, and then with after that you could go. My feeling is I want to see more of Noel. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to see him get out there, get some meaningful reps. And they've been using him very, very sparingly. Like the game before last against Jacksonville, he had 23 offensive snaps throughout the
Mm,
whole game. And Christian Kirk had a total of 40. And this was actually the first game that Jaden Higgins out rep Kirk, because Higgins had 43 snaps. So yeah, I repped him by 3 snaps. But I
right.
want to see them get the young guy on the field, because of the fact that I've seen Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is not giving you any extra juice right now. You need
Mm,
everything that you can get out of this receiving core to be able to give this offense some sort of a spark. So go with
right.
the new guy. I would almost say after Noel, throw Barrios in there, and I would just Kirk, you got to go because I can't have you going out there. He gets one reception for 3 yards a game before. Then yesterday he gets one reception for 6 yards. It's like you're getting paid.
Yeah.
You got to be better than that. Injuries or everything like that. Everybody is injured right now this time of year.
Hmm.
Everybody's got something they're dealing with. We see Dalton out there grabbing his chest and everything like that, and he's still going out and making those plays.
Yeah.
So now
I,
with Nick Caley, what is your sense with Nick Caley?
man, I just think that Nick Kelly started off the beginning of the year, and he got his first report card, and he had a bunch of C's and D's. He came into a new school, and it was like, hey, this is something brand new. You never called plays before, or whatever. And I think it hit him faster than what he thought than it would. Um, there are some things that I see in Nick Caley, and I see some of the schemes in the route running concept, and I'm like, okay, I can see this working. And then sometimes it's like I just think that the 5 and 7 step drop back sometimes when you have the team, the defense that they got their ears pinned back and they're coming and like we don't have a big enough lead for you to drop back 5 and 7 steps. Like you got to continue to throw in rhythm. My only thing with the Texans, and I've been saying this even with Bobby Slowick, that I think that the plays need to be called from the sideline and not where they have to huddle. Every quarterback has the wristband,
Yeah.
and you have 15 seconds in your ear. Get those guys back up to the line of scrimmage and call a first down play with a 21 personnel, 22 personnel, but make sure that when you call that first play, you want to have uh, what you want after first down, you want it to be 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, but go straight back to the line of scrimmage and call a different personnel. So if I have Dalton lined up tight, I got Dalton in the slot. If I have British Brooks as my fullback and Chubb as my tail, then I'm motion one of them out of the backfield. You know, I have to do something different and catch that defense where they can't substitute.
Yeah.
And I think that that's how you're going to uh, uh, catch a rhythm and keep these guys off guard. And you got to get the ball out of your hand under 3 seconds. Shout out to AD. I think AD said that I think it's like 2.83, 2.85 H-time rundown. He's like, get the ball out of your hand that quick, and more than likely, you're not going to get pressure or get sacks. And I understand you want some rock concepts to be 15, 17 yard because the crossers, the double moves, like it's going to happen. But you have to get something established where your line can have a chemistry with the pass rusher and the pass rusher start to, get a little fatigue. And then you can like call the longer route running plays. So that's how I look at that.
Yeah. One thing I've seen is I've had to do some film study because anybody
Okay.
who's followed me, anybody who's seen me in the chat knows that I've been very, very critical of Nick Caley and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And the one thing that I've seen is there has been a certain progression with everything from the first 3 weeks. He was installing just basic gap running plays. Then after
Hmm.
that, he started adding into the duo. And through the first 3 weeks, he actually was using some of Bobby Slowick's route concepts until he got the guys familiar. Then you started seeing them spread it out using some of the Josh McDaniels New England concepts. In this last game, you started to see them tie into some of the Sean McVay stuff when they're going with stacks and trips to one side and they're coming
Hmm.
from condensed formations and they're getting some good releases and everything like that. That's where you started to see that the last game.
Right.
And for me, Sean Payton with the Denver Broncos is a master of this. People say he's
Mm.
insane because the guy could script almost 300 plays to start a game. And the thing with Sean Payton is he has a bread and butter play that he knows will work, and
Mhm.
he can run that play from about 5 to 6 different formations. He could
Right.
run the same play 6 different ways, and you're not going to identify that play, and he's going to have success with that play every time he runs it. So the NFL is about finding out what you do best, and then
Mhm.
also you got to use the motion to create your mismatches.
Oh
You
yeah, I
got
was
to
about
get
to. Yeah.
Nico Collins in there,
Right.
and if you
Right.
got a small guy in the nickel, motion Nico into the slot, get him matched up
Right.
with that smaller guy. Just hot route to a quick slant if you need 3 yards, and just throw it up to Nico. I
Hey,
mean,
let me cut you off right quick. I was talking to my brother last night, and we was talking about the same thing. Uh, and the one thing that I pointed out to him, I said, if we go to the line of scrimmage, after the ball is set by the referee, I say, and you get lined up, and you can take if you going with a two back set, you can take the fullback and motion him out, and you see if the safety is going to follow him or is that linebacker going to follow him.
yeah,
So that concept with that player, and then you line him back up, and then you take Miko, like you said, and you put him in motion. Is the cornerback going to follow him all the way across, and you see the safety drop back deeper, or are you going to see the cornerback just going to stop right there, and the safety is going to come up also?
yeah,
So with that concept, what you were just saying is moving Nico around. Like I would move Nico around so much because I think his route running is like I think it's underrated. I think a lot of people think that because he's so big, 6'4", he can't run the routes. But I'm gonna tell you who's looking like he's I ain't gonna say a better route runner, but I did hear one of my guys say uh Barrett said that he felt like that Higgins, his catch radius is like very wide, which I think both of their catch radius is wide.
they're
But
very
we haven't
similar. They're both about 6'3", 6'4",
they're both
and
6'4". They're
yeah,
both 6'4". I think Nico is more muscular, and I think Higgins is more wiry. But
yeah,
when we was doing our show pre-draft, one thing that I pointed out with Nitty and draft guard is I said Higgins, the way that guy at 6'4", the way that he's able to come out of his breaks, uh squat down and turn his hips and explode out of that. I said that's kind of something like I haven't seen that a whole lot as a guy that's 6'4". So he can run as him being 6'4", when he comes out of his breaks, it's almost like he's 5'11",
yeah.
because he can swivel his hips and then explode. So I feel like he was underused a whole lot more than Noah. I think Noah kind of remind me of the old Steve Smith from Carolina.
Yeah,
I think
Nolan's got that short, stocky build, and
right.
we've seen him on the short catches. Is he's not looking to duck out of bounds. Noel is physical. He wants to go. He
Hmm.
wants to break that first tackle, and
Right.
he's a guy that if you use him across the middle instead of just trying to use him as gadget plays like
Right.
Bobby liked to use Tank that way, and it
Hmm.
infuriated me because Tank was a great receiver. He could run routes. Jalen Noel, if you get him going across the middle and you get him something underneath and give
Right.
him a little bit of room to work, he's got the physicality to break tackles and get you yak yards.
Hmm.
Now, the thing is, the one thing that has frustrated, I think, every single Texans fan has been our red zone. Red zone has
Yeah.
been a problem for us. And it's not
Hmm.
just one side of the ball, it's both sides of the ball, offense and defense. If there's a blemish on this defense, it's our red zone defense. And our
Right.
offensive red zone has been absolutely atrocious. And
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you this. This is what I would do with this red zone right now. we're going to be switching it up. If Ed Ingram is back healthy, we're going to
Hmm.
have Ed at right guard. We're moving Titus Howard to the left guard because they want to get more push on the interior of that offensive line. They want to get bigger. Jarrett
Right.
Patterson is a great pass blocking technician, but he does not give you the push that you need in the run game.
No
And
power.
I'm sorry, but Andrews is really, really pissing me off. I'm tired of seeing him fall on his ass every single game. It gets to be very frustrating for me. But you need to get those bigger guys in there so that they can start doing double teams with the center and give him some help. Because the inside of your offensive line, your guard, your center, your guard, it's like a knife. And that's the point of your knife, where you're trying to
Right.
break through that defensive line.
Right.
Got to be able to get that penetration right there. And it starts on that offensive line on the red zone is you got to be off that ball quick. You got to come out
Hmm.
low and get lower than the other guy. And you got to be able to get that push. And the problem that we have is they are running directly at the strengths of the defense.
Right. Yeah.
Zach Allen and that Denver defense, we tried running it right up the middle.
Hmm.
Seattle, we tried running it right up the middle. And then what do? We try to run that pitch to Woody Marks. He gets the
Right.
corner. And
Yeah.
it's like there's no mixing it up, though. It's like we're either going to run it 4 times. We've seen them try to pass it 4 times. And there's no mixture in there. And it doesn't look creative. Now, if you go with that offensive line and I throw Cade Stover right here, I've got Dalton Schultz over here, and then I bring in Blake Fisher and I go with a traditional goal line. And now that Jacob Johnson is healthy, I've got him and I go Nick Chubb. I'm going right up off of Trent Brown and right at Cade Stover because that's where I'm going to get me a good seal. And Ed Ingram is probably our best rated offensive lineman and has been probably the best free agent pickup that we have, or he's got a
Mm.
really, really good deal worked out with PFF, and they're showing him a lot of love. Because I mean, he went from being like everybody's most hated son in Minnesota to like, he was a revelation here.
Right.
And you know, for us as Texans fans, I know I probably speak for everybody in the chat right now. We do not want to see Lakin Tomlinson, and heaven forbid we see Sidey Sow out there again. That experiment needs to be done. It needs to be cooked. It needs to be thrown the hell out. At some points
Okay.
with the personnel usage, Killer, I think that it's almost the point where we got to get some of these guys off of this team so that they no longer have that luxury to go and try that stuff again because it is just
Okay.
baffling.
All right. So we're gonna. You brought up a great sidebar. If City Soul can get on the field, what is the real reason why Juice can't get on the field? Because I didn't know who City Soul was,
He was
and
a fifth
Juice and
round draft
Juice,
choice from New England. That's how he got on the field.
but Juice is your second round pick by Nick Casario.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard D'Amico say in a press conference, like, guys coming in, doing what they're supposed to do during the week, and these are the guys that we're gonna play first. So is it that Juice has a attitude problem? Is he like, what is it? Like right now, like this is Juice third year, right?
Yes.
This is when the
Him and
light is
Patterson came in at the same time.
so the light is supposed to be on. Like Patterson is a fifth round pick. If Patterson makes it, which he has, like, okay, I understand. Fifth round pick. Oh, okay, cool. Juice was a second round pick.
Yeah.
Now I understand that people say that, oh, he was rated as a fifth round pick, which I don't know where they get that from. I could be wrong, but I thought that he was coming out and he was rated as a first round pick that fell, early in the second. I don't
There were
know.
varying opinions that people said that he was either overrated and overdrafted, or most of the scouts in the community did not know who Juice Scruggs was. And the pick surprised them all because he was not on a Mel Kiper's big board and stuff like that. So they were like, wait, what? Who is this guy? That's what it was with them. Now, with the offensive line, there's been a common factor going in here. If you have a Patriots background, you get in on this offensive line. We've seen them bring in Marcus Cannon. We see it with Trent Brown. We see it with Jake Andrews, who's a former Patriot. We see it with Sight So, and then there was Zach Thomas. Anybody with that
Mm,
Patriots background can get in here. It is like
mm.
a good old boys club here with Patriots players. Miles Bryant, back again. I mean, we have signed so many former Patriots. It is disgusting to me.
Okay, here's the problem that I have with that. Let me Juice and Fisher is a Patriot draft pick because they was drafted by Nick Casario.
Yep.
And you gotta both of these guys was drafted in the second round. Like they were supposed to be the guys that supposed to be on the field right now. Like we shouldn't have Trent Brown, we shouldn't have Ingram, we shouldn't like your line right now. If everything was supposed to be what it is, you have Titus, you have Ursary, you have Kenya Green, you have Struggs, you have Fisher. These are all Nick Casarios.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is he's missing on so much, or are these guys are not good? Like, are they going to go somewhere else and perform? I don't know. It's no way that I feel like Fisher should be your sixth lineman. Like he should be what Trent Brown should be your backup lineman coming off of injury. He should be the lineman that's coming off of injury. Fisher should be a damn starter. Juice should be a damn starter. We just have to figure out the center, and we'll figure that out in next year's draft. But your line is supposed to be set with Howard and Ursary and Juice and Fish. Like I don't understand. So
Well, let me
that
ask you a simple question here, and you'll see where I'm going with this. Who is the last Texans offensive lineman that was drafted that we truly developed from within?
the last one that was is it Dwayne Brown? Who would it be? Drafted from within?
I would say there Dwayne Brown was probably the most name worthy, but I mean, the last guys that you will remember us actually developing were from that Kubiak tree. It was guys like Ben Jones who left us and went to the
Ben
Titans,
Jones went to the
Brandon
Titans.
Brooks,
Brandon
Eric
Brooks that
Newton.
went to Philadelphia. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
So this is just
we're
the
talking
starting
about a
process.
different scheme and a different like we talking about a whole different regime and a whole different scheme.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So, but you've got a whole Bill O'Brien era there where they did not develop any offensive linemen. And now
right.
we've got 5 years of Nick Casario where they have yet to develop an offensive lineman. And that is the common theme there is they are getting these offensive linemen, but they do not have anybody to develop the offensive lineman. We brought in Chris Strausser, and Chris Strausser had never coached a wide zone scheme.
Hmm.
So he did not know what to do. And we all know that Bobby Slow didn't know what to do because, from everybody's take, Bobby just Xeroxed that playbook in San Francisco before he said deuces and dipped out the door. But he did not know. Bobby had the concepts, but he did not know all the gears and how they fit together to make that offense work and come together. And the offensive line is not a very difficult scouting process. For me, you got to look at every single position on the offensive line has different qualifications. They're not interchangeable positions. They have different things that require different positions. And Nick Caley is coming in here with this, and he's the second offensive coordinator who has no experience that you tied his arm behind his back with a bad offensive line and have not supported him with the appropriate staff. What you're seeing here is just very, very simple. Casario, he favors that versatility in his offensive lineman, being able to play multiple positions. That is a backup trait. You don't want your starters to be versatile. You want your starters. If I have a left tackle, I want him to be the best left tackle. If I have a left guard, I want him to be the best left guard. I don't want them interchanging positions. I want them playing the same space so that they have cohesion and chemistry and that they're the best at their position. I don't want to jack up all trades. And then they have to get bigger inside. That has been a theme since Gary Kubiak. You have to get bigger guys in between the tackles in order to be able to get pushed, especially on the goal lines. Is get bigger in between the tackles. That's what you got to do. Go get you guys that are going out there with the lunch boxes, the meat and potato guys that they love getting physical. Guys that will sit there and will literally start drooling them out in the mouth when they come around a corner on a pull and they see a linebacker or a defensive back, and they know that they're going to clean this clock. That's the
Mhm.
old school mentality, and you've got to get that physical mindset that D'Amico Ryans wants, but you do not have the personnel at this point in time to be able to run that.
I think they're running the wrong scheme for the linemen that they have. Um, Fisher is a slender body type of tackle. Juice, like I think, what did Juice play in Penn State? Did he play center and they wanted to move him to guard, or it was vice versa?
Yeah, he played
Uh,
center, and Casario said that his best position was center, which we've seen is wrong.
yeah, I just think that, like, from my experience, man, me playing as an undersized lineman, it's hard to move a guy off his pivot if I'm going head up.
Yeah.
Like if we're goal line to goal line and I'm trying to move you off your pivot, that is a hard thing to do. What is easy is we ran a lot of, and back in the day, the zone blocking, what is called zone blocking back then was called
Yeah.
veer blocking. And it's just a zone step. Like everybody's taking a step to the left or a step to the right, step to the left. And so as I take my step, the defensive lineman is going to take his step. And it's like now you have to get low body um, advantage and try to move him and keep him going in the direction that he's going.
Yeah.
Now, when you mentioned Ben Jones and you mentioned those guys, like now Brandon Brooks was a big guy,
Yeah, he
but
was.
Ben Jones and Chris Myers,
I love
those
Chris
were
Myers.
yeah. Chris Myers was a small guy, and he used to get now when they had to go head to head up against and he played for the Texans, the big nose tackle from New England.
Vince Wilfork.
Wolfhook used to whoop his ass when they was just going head to head.
Well,
But when they were going like lateral, Ben Jones did his job. And Ben Jones, I mean not Ben Jones,
Chris Myers.
Chris Myers was like 285 on a very good day.
Yeah.
Wolfhook was like 345. But if the motion of the line is going one way, then you had guys like Aaron Foster that's able to, peep the crease and then cut it up. You said something earlier that we're running the ball. We're running it in the 0, 1, and 2 gap.
Yep.
And for those who don't know, the 0 is the center straight up, the 1 is to the left, and the 2 is to the right. And we just don't have the personnel to move people off the line like that.
No.
And then when you running it off the 3 and the 4, Titus is a guy that probably can move his feet.
Yep.
Urstery has not shown that he can move. He can move his feet pulling, but he can't move his feet and be powerful in the same instance.
Yeah.
So it's hard to run, and he's on the left side. So that's going to be the 3 gap, the 3 and the 5 gap. And so
Ursery
that's
also overextends beyond his frame, and that's where he loses a lot of his power because he goes off balance when he's trying to reach, and he gets too far out there. And
exactly.
he's also, when you watch him, he's a little bit stiff in the lower half. He's a straight line speed, but he just very, very stiff, and he does not have that bend to pick those guys up coming around the edge. And with his size, when you get down there to the goal line, his leverage becomes an issue, and he has a problem getting lower than the other guy to be able to leverage him and to create that movement as well.
You said something that Patton was the first person to bring up Ursery. I went and watched his film, and that was the number one thing that I saw. I said that his hip movement and the fluidity of his hips I said, I don't see that he's going to be, a very good tackle. Like that's something he's going to have to work on.
I think he's going to
And
be a right tackle is where his future should be.
I think he can be a right tackle, but I think that he's probably going to have to, he's going to have to work on his flexibility. And the reason why I say that is because I had the same assessment about Will Anderson. I said Will Anderson didn't have the bend that I was looking for. I said Will Anderson had power and he had college power that he's just going to run through you or whatever, but he didn't have the bend. But when he got with Daniil Hunter, he developed that bend and he's developing, you know, uh, offsetting moves. I think that by Ursula being thrown into the fire really early, I think he's going to learn a hell of a lot. Now, I think he could be an all pro right tackle.
Yeah.
But I think that at left right now, unless it's somebody else that's coming out of the draft next year, and you be like, hey, we're gonna, because you still got Titus contract, which I think Titus is gonna be around. But just for the sake of conversation, if there's a left tackle that's like undoubtedly that we're just gonna go with, then I don't mind moving Urshree over there and moving Titus, you know, to either guard or whatever. But I think that Urshree can learn to play that left tackle. It's just that, like you said, his fluidity in his hips is not really, he doesn't move. He doesn't bend well. When you have guys that can get around that edge and they have that bend, he doesn't turn his hips enough. And if he turns too much to the left side and they do a spin move, oh, he's out of there.
Yeah. And the other
So,
thing I notice is his hands when he's trying to punch, he's a little bit slow with his punch, and he's kind of behind the defender in his timing with his punch. And
mm,
also, he doesn't have like he can't separate his punch with either arm.
mm,
He has to do it
yeah.
two hands, and that's when he gets out over his frame. And you see him; he's had some pretty big and bad whips out there against some
Hmm.
defenders. And the lower defenders, they get slow. They start outside. They attack that outside shoulder. As soon as he starts going outside, they dip it and they'll sit there and
Yeah.
roll it inside, just like they teach you. Attack the outside, reverse to the inside, and he just does not have that.
Right.
And the one thing with him is he's very, very inconsistent from game to game. The first
Mm,
matchup with Johns Hyde Allen, he got his lunch taken from him. And then
hmm.
the last time he plays, he shut him out completely.
Yeah, he played an
And
excellent game.
I
And
have
that's
to
why
watch
that's why
that
I
more.
feel like that he could I think he can build on, like, because I didn't see him make the same mistakes. Like you know that Hines Allen was like, oh, I can't wait to play this rookie again.
Yeah.
And totally got shut out, you know. So I think that I've seen him like pretty much, he progressed a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I think that the one thing that's what upsets me about Fisher and Juice is your off season. They give you a whole outline on what they need you to work on. I need you to drop, 15 pounds of fat and build up muscle. I need you to work on your endurance, your strength, work on your hand movement. They give you a whole outline because when you go home, you're gonna go home for like maybe you don't make the Super Bowl, so you're gonna go home early January.
Yeah.
So you got January all the way up until mid-March, early April to work on things. So everybody know that you're gonna take a vacation, spend your money, spend time with family, eat like you whatever. Mid-February, early March, that's when you start to get back off into the thick of it. And then it's about, are you spending your own money or did you stay in town to use the facility and the coaches to help you work on what they told you what you need to work on?
Yeah.
And you'll normally see that second year you see an improvement, but that third year is when you actually see like, oh, the light have come on. the game, as they say, the game have slowed down. So that's one of the players that I'm really looking at. Like, I think that Petrie is one of those players. Lassiter, it seems like the game kind of slowed down. Like he still make a few mistakes. I think the
Yeah.
game is still fast for Kalen Bullock right now. He still make USC mistakes, you know. But it's just like that second year is when you start like they're like, okay, I played 17 games, 1 or 2 playoff games. Okay, I kind of know how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I'm looking for Urshri. Is he going to be our franchise left tackle, or are we going to move him to the right tackle and find another left tackle? So,
Well, what I see with Ursary is just, I think at left tackle he could be a great run blocker. Like he's going to
mhm,
be Pro Bowl, all caliber, all pro
yeah,
caliber type of run
yeah,
blocker. His pass blocking, I think, on the left side, he's going to be above average. He's never going to be your Pro Bowl or at an elite level. I think when you move him to the right side, he's going to be a little bit better there, and he's got the physicality that you want on that strong side. Plus, you're going to have the tight ends next to him to be able to help him out.
hmm,
And if you find somebody that has a better pass protection set than him, then I
right,
think that's something you look into. If something better is available, that gives you the ability to flip.
right,
Conversely, with this, Titus is, I think, a free agent, and Titus right now is earned himself another contract. He was playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level before they had to move him inside at right tackle.
hmm,
Ed Ingram has probably earned himself another contract for at least a year as a stopgap. So the Texans got to figure out what they're going to be doing with the left guard position because that's been a position of constant flux. And they also got to figure out the center position because the center is not going to cut it. And the thing
yeah,
that I see with the Texans offensive linemen is when you draft these linemen, you can develop certain skills and techniques and everything like that. You can inform and improve off of that and build that
mm,
base. But the thing that you're going to have very minimal fluctuations with is going to be your strength and your
hmm,
ability to move. You
right,
can add weight to develop some strength. You could drop weight like they do in a draft to get a little bit more quickness. But you're going to
mm,
have a baseline and it's not going to vary too much. So when you're looking at your offensive lineman, you got to go and you got to find somebody that's got that plow horse like field strength mentality. Guys that want to go out there and push boulders. You got to get stronger up there. And you got to
hmm,
look at that lower half of an offensive lineman. That is what you're looking for. You want what they call that. John Madden called it that brisket butt, that thick lower half. Guys that sit
mm,
there and had a thick half, thick beneath the waist. Those are the guys that get you to push in the run game. Now, I know one thing I want to talk about, Killer, is this linebacking core. You mentioned Henry T with some missed tackles in there. I think Aziz has done some good things, and
hmm,
I think he has actually improved as his coverage this season. There's still some times when guys get him,
yeah,
and EJ Speed has been pretty good out there. We have not seen Christian Harris at all. Henry T, to me, he needs to be relegated to early downs. Like he is more of your traditional 3-4 right inside linebacker that's
right,
playing first and second down. And his job is just to work with that right gap right there between the guard and the center and just sit
mm,
there, shoot that gap, and take care of any running back that comes through that gap. That's what Henry T is good at. When you're asking him to get out there in space, break down, and tackle, that's where he starts to get sloppy. And it's inconsistent with him because he got benched from that. Then he
hmm,
cleaned that up. He got a little bit better. And now it's like it's back again. And it's kind of one of these things that we see it with the team, though, where there are games where this team just they miss a lot of tackles. And that
right,
is part of that swarm mentality. You know,
hmm,
if one guy misses a tackle, it's all right because we got 3 or 4 other guys coming and they're all
Right.
getting to the ball very, very quickly. That is why
Mm.
we call it the swarm mentality. And it's
Right.
something that was developed by Lovie Smith when he was down there in Tampa Bay.
Right.
It was a swarm. And these defenses, man, it's the one thing I seen it with you mentioned Kamari and that play where the tight end of Conquero got behind him.
Mm.
When I went back and I watched that play, Kamari's coming up there and you see the kind of a communication with him and another guy, and you can see the confusion right there. And the next thing you know, he got behind him.
Mm.
So there was just a little bit of confusion right there because this is a tight end. I'm
Right.
like, I had to
Yeah.
go back and watch it. I'm like, how is a tight end getting behind Kamari Lassiter? That does
Mm-hmm.
not happen that often. So I had to go back and watch that and see that there was confusion. And another thing is Derek Stingley is not playing good this year. He still plays at an acceptable level, which is better than most other cornerbacks you're going to get. But this is not the all pro Sting. And there is something going on there with him. And it's just off with Stingley. Like, and his hands, man, he could go and make a diving one-handed catch, and then he misses the simple interceptions. Like, how in the hell
Uh,
does that happen, Killer?
uh, I thought about the same thing, but the thing about it is the reason why interceptions are more difficult to catch than a reception is because you're asking the defender to do two things. He's defending the quarterback, he's defending the receiver and the quarterback, and then he has to make a play on the ball. The wide receiver only has one responsibility, is to go and catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to contort my body. Like it should have been interception. Like, I mean, the week before we saw Kamara Lassiter. He said I should have had it.
Yep.
Anytime these guys get two hands on the ball, should be an interception.
Yep.
But I do understand in football that my primary responsibility is to stop you from catching the ball. But
Yeah.
even if and I've heard D'Amico, I have a friend named Lorenzo, um, Lorenzo Cooper Jr. He uh, he went to LSU. He knows Stingley's dad, and he told me when we drafted Stingley, he said Stingley has as good a hands as Jefferson is Chase. I was like, man, get out of here. And they were like, man, Stingley could have played wide receiver. That's how good his hands
He
are.
actually was a wide receiver going into LSU. And because they had all of those wide receivers, they converted him to DB.
Now check this out. D'Amico came out like 2 years ago and said, I think Stingley got the best hands on the team.
Yeah.
I had to call Lorenzo and say, hey, bro, the head coach said Stingley got the best hand. So when you ask me how could Sting miss that interception, is because he's defending the pass. He has to get himself in position because Stingley is going to bait you.
Yeah.
And he baited him and the hand, and it was just a bobble. You know, it's just, I mean, we see wide receivers miss catches all the time. But it was just that one. We just felt like, okay, this is Sting's interception. And it just
Yeah.
bobbled. And it was like, oh my God. I was talking to my brother. He was like, man, Sting should have caught that. There's no excuse. I'm like, well, you got to look at totality of a defensive back. He's not a wide receiver. He's defending between the quarterback and the wide receiver. And he has to, contort his body because the ball is not thrown to him. It's thrown to the wide receiver, so he has to go in and try to make a play on the ball. So
Yeah.
I wish it was an interception, but you asked me how did he miss it, and that's my explanation, bro.
Yep. And for the defense, for me, man, it's we got to start getting some more turnovers with as bad as this offense is and creating some more opportunities for them.
Hmm.
They've been doing great. Like they just sit there and said the record was this is eighth consecutive games where they've had a sack and they've had a turnover for the Texans. which
Mm.
leads the NFL right now. That was on the
Okay.
broadcast.
All right.
And for the Texans, with this offense like it is, you got to be able to do two things. You've got to be able to create short fields, which comes down
Mm.
to two areas. You either going to create that with your return game, which
Mm.
thankfully they started to finally listen as we've been pounding the table and saying Noel is the best returner we have. He's going to
Right.
set you up with the shortest fields as long as you keep him out there. It's time to end this rotational returner. Give us a
Right.
primary returner. So they've done
Mm.
that. So that's going to give you some short fields. Now
Yeah.
you need that defense to sit there and pick it up a notch. And we're getting like one turnover a game here, maybe two. But we got to create these short fields for this offense. And the thing is, even when we have done that, it's just come down to execution in the red zone. I almost
Right.
sit there and say, if we get on that 1 yard line, let's, hey man, false start, just false start. We need to back it up a little bit. We need some room to operate here. Just false start for me. Let's get a little bit of room so this offense can operate. I mean, do something.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Joe.
think.
So we got Kylie Fairbairn's coming back this week, thankfully.
Right. Right.
And let me ask you something about the last game. When Matt Wright doinked that kick before they called the penalty, were you worried on his second two field goal attempts?
Yeah, because this is his third team this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like that. That's why I wanted us to go in the red zone and just finish. Like we have to go for it. If we got inside the 20-yard line, I don't want to. No, no. Let me take it back. When it was a 40, like a 40, 45-yard attempt, I didn't want to kick the field goal.
No.
I was like, no, let's just go ahead and now the 50, like, especially the 50-yard field goal, because
No.
the team get the ball back at the spot of,
Yeah.
where the ball is placed. So my thing is like we have to go for sevens, man. So I really wasn't like I wasn't confident in him at all. But after that doink, I was like, well, it happened early. Let's see how it turns out. So, it turned out for the better, man. So,
Yeah. Two things
uh,
that I noticed in that game is
yeah.
they throw the flag and they challenge the Christian Kirk catch in the end
Hmm.
zone, which that was a touchdown. It hit him in the hands and he dropped it. Plain and simple. He should have had
Yeah.
that ball. That's the NFL rule for a wide receiver. If it hits you in the hand, you have to catch the football. Jaden Higgins on that one. I thought D'Amico should have thrown a challenge flag out there because I thought that when he stretched out, maybe the nose of that football from the angle that I saw got enough to break the plane and get over that pylon, just barely
Hmm.
enough where it was the nose of the football, or at least they could have gave them a better spot because I thought they were on the one, and if I
Yeah.
remember right, they put them on the three.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I think the dumbest rule, and I don't understand how these guys with this multi-billion-dollar industry, if I'm a running back and I'm running the ball and I reach the ball over the plane of the goal line, they say it's the play stops right there, right?
yeah, all you got to
Okay.
do is be able to get the ball to break the plane.
Okay, so what is considered a catch? A catch is 2 feet in, the hand is on the ball. Why is it that I have to finish the catch outside of the out of bounds or whatever? I thought that once two hands catch the ball, 2 feet are in, the play should be over. But of course, I understand it's the Dez Bryant. He didn't catch the ball, but
Yeah,
I just think that's
Calvin
just
Johnson.
crazy.
Here we are, like almost 10, 15 years later from that. We're still trying to figure out what a catch is in the NFL.
Right, because they like, oh, you got to finish the catch all the way through. Like, no, I thought once it's in the okay, so if it's not in the end zone and it's just in the field of play and I'm going out of bounds, okay, finish the catch there. But if I have two hands on the ball and 2 feet down and the ball have crossed the plane,
Yep.
it should be over with. Unless I bobbled the ball. I caught the ball, I bobbled it. I gotta reassess and get the ball, and then okay, 2 hands on the ball, 2 feet down. But I just think that's part of the rule that's just kind of like, and I was surprised that D'Amico challenged that because I looked at that in real time and I was like, hell, that's not a catch.
No,
Not the way that the NFL judge it.
no,
That's
he
not a
didn't
catch,
maintain
man.
possession throughout.
Right. Yeah, and that's the rule, man. Hey, let's go back to the bull ring, man. Brandon. Hey, he said something earlier. This has been a couple of minutes ago. Start the stream off right, fire Nick Cage. Okay. Eve, shout out once again to Eve. Eve said Cal is the host. Yeah, they made me the host tonight. I got my boy Mellow Mike in here, so that's a great thing. Let's
Larry's in
see.
there.
Oh yeah, Larry gonna always check in. Swarm. Mellows in the house. Yeah. Henry T needs to be replaced by Christian Harris and Speed this week. I agree. I want to see Speed and Christian Harris in the game. I think like EJ Speed, the one thing that I told people in the offseason that when Speed signed here, I said the Texans 3 linebacking core was already set, so we
Yeah.
thought. Why did the dude leave in the division and come here and sign a 1 year, $5 million deal? He must have felt like that he was better than the guys that was on the field with the Texans because he could have went anywhere else. I'm not saying he could have got more money, but the Texans' depth was already deep. Because you got 2 guys from Alabama, which we kind of think that okay, D'Amico from Alabama, and so you got Toto and Harris, and then Z's is the guy from San Francisco. So why would Speed want to come there? Speed must have felt like that he was better than one of those 3 guys or all of those 3 guys. So
Nah, I'll
you
tell
know
you exactly what it is.
what is it,
I
man?
used to listen to EJ and Zaire because they were pretty
Mhm.
funny when they did their podcast.
Okay, what they say, man?
Yep. And one thing is they did not vibe with Matt Eberflus up there in Indianapolis. And they also did
Okay.
not like Gus Bradley.
Mm.
For EJ, it's more about coaching. And if you're a linebacker looking for a team to play on, what team is more attractive than the Miko Ryans team right here?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get to go to a division rival on top of that and get the opportunity to stick it back to your old team. Plus, you get some
Mm.
good money on that because we know that Nick Casario likes to sit there and give very friendly contracts out.
Right. Yeah. And you had pointed out something earlier, and I pulled it up, and we was talking about linebackers earlier, and I pulled up um, San Fran linebackers, and uh, none of these Texans linebackers are going to get any type of postseason accolades. So we don't have our Fred Warner.
No, we don't.
This is what's so amazing, and I mentioned this on the show for the last couple of weeks. And me and Patton is under the we're assuming that hopefully we can get a guy in free agency like Jordan Davis. But D'Amico does not have his defensive tackles and he does not have his linebackers.
No,
None of those guys up the middle are going to get any type of Pro Bowl consideration, All Pro consideration,
no, they're not.
and they got the number one defense. So it lets you know how great defense. I mean, the great mind that D'Amico has to have guys that he knows that if I have, this defensive tackle, these linebackers, how much more greater that this defense can be.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for that to, come about. But
Well, the only way that's going to come about with the salary cap for the Texans is going to tighten up here within these next 2 years. So the only
right,
way he's going to get a player of that caliber is if he drafts him and develops him into that player. Because
Mm.
there's too many holes on the offense side of the ball.
Right.
And with this season and the offense going the way it is, they're going to have to commit the resources to the offensive side of the ball this offseason coming up. And defensive
Well,
tackles, I mean, he views it as a rotational pieces. He sit there, he
mm,
brings in guys. I think we got a good one there with Tommy Togiai. He's one that is like what's his name? We sent him to San Francisco. Khalil Davis.
mm,
You know, he had that spark when we brought him in. And I think he's actually better than Khalil Davis. And Togiai is good. We bring Sheldon Rankins back. He gets
right.
injured last year with Cincinnati. We bring him back, and he picks up right where he left off in his defense.
Mm, right.
Tim
Yeah.
Settle has been a great player for us. He disappears too much for me, though. He's in
Mm-hmm.
there. He can make plays for you, but then there are snaps where he just disappears and you don't hear him
Right.
called.
Yeah.
If D'Amico
Bart.
Ryans ever gets himself an elite, like one of those physically dominant defensive tackles, like a Quinnen Williams or
Yeah,
something like that,
bro. Yeah.
it's going to be over with.
Right.
He will
That's what I
have that
said.
inside out pass rush. And there's just the pieces fit together, and he knows how they fit. Aziz Al-Shaair is not your Fred Warner. What Aziz Al-Shaair does for you is he's able to keep your defense on schedule by keeping everybody in the correct positions
Right.
and keeping them aligned properly so that they don't give up those big plays to the second level when it comes to the running game or the short
Right.
to intermediate passes. What they're also missing is just an experienced safety, which they thought they had as CJ Gardner Johnson to be able to help because your safeties are the ones that's going to keep your secondary aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And the communication always goes from the safety to middle linebacker, and they come up there and they will tell the offensive line, hey, you know, you
Right.
see them up there slapping the guy on the rear. Hey, get over, get over, get over,
Mm-hmm.
lining those guys up.
Right.
Aziz says that. Aziz is not a physical freak.
Mm-hmm.
EJ Speed is probably your best sideline to sideline linebacker
Right.
outside of Christian Harris. Christian Harris, if he was playing better, and it's just one of those things with Christian Harris, like it is a mystery to us. He got injured, he went out, and it's like he never came back because we have not seen him since.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
if D'Amico gets himself a Fred Warner type linebacker, which may be something that, you know, if he finds it in the draft, he will either look for, and I'm telling you this offseason, in the draft, they're either going to get themselves a defensive tackle or they're going to find themselves a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And either one of those would not surprise me at all.
I'm gonna tell
Now,
you, it's gonna be both because I said I was last year I said that they should have went defensive tackle first. A lot of people disagreed, and I understand that they wanted to go lineman, which take Radledge. I understand that. But I was like, D'Amico does not have what he wants. Like the guy that I wanted, and I have to go back and look at, you know, where he was drafted and who we took, or did he get drafted early, was Edric Cooper from Texas A&M. But I was like, D'Amico does not he does not have his guy up the middle. He's missing them in safety, missing them in linebacker, he missing them in defensive tackle, and he has the number one defense. When he get
yep.
that, it's going to be
I'll tell
crazy
you a
how.
guy that I was talking to Patton about this earlier. And
Mhm.
there's a guy that I've got my eye on right now in college football that is a left guard. And I'm going to keep watching him.
Mhm.
But it's Virginia Tech. His name is Tomas Rimac.
Okay.
And this guy has not allowed a sack in over 1,000 snaps. He played 2
Mm.
years at West Virginia, and then he switched to Virginia Tech. And the guy is like pass protection. He's phenomenal, and
What's
he's
his last
60.
name?
Rimac, Rimac.
Okay. Yeah. Thomas. Tomas.
Yep.
Okay.
and he's also got the build of an offensive tackle.
6'6", 317.
Yep,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that plays inside out. He can play your guard. I think that he may struggle a little bit because the biggest issue with him that I see when I'm watching him on tape right now is that his pad level is inconsistent. He
Mhm.
doesn't maintain his pad level. He does,
Yeah.
however, keep his pad square to the line of scrimmage, and he's able to keep in
Mhm.
front of his. So this is a guy that if you draft him, he could probably drop inside at left guard for you,
Okay.
or
You
he
know
could
what I
wing
want,
out.
man. You know what I want, man. Because there's I didn't want to bring it up, but there's the well, the concussion with CJ. Is he concussed? Can he play? Why is this guy coming back and CJ is not coming back or whatever? My thing is, and I know going into last year draft, we were like, well, some people were like, you need to go and just draft all linemen, like just go heavy in drafting linemen. And I'm like, that sounds great, but the people that says that, I would ask them, what are the top five offensive lineman unit, and just name me two of the five of those offensive linemen, and you can't because it's not about the name on the back of the jersey. You mentioned something earlier about Strouser, and we was talking about scheme when we was going back to Gary Kubiak and the scheme. It's not really that Chris Myers and Ben Johnson and all these other guys was, just highly touted, draft picks. It's just that they fit into a scheme,
Yeah,
So my thing is, if CJ is going to be the highest paid player in the NFL, because I think him and Bryce Young is coming on right now. So,
yeah,
hey, they're probably going to be in that 60, $65 million range. I don't know. Bryce, I think they're both going to get paid, but nevertheless, I think that you need to find every avenue to protect CJ.
yeah. And the thing with me is Nick Casario has been here for 5 years. He was here two
Mm,
years before D'Amico Ryans. David
mm.
Culley, Lovey Smith. In
So
five
okay,
years,
hold on. Let me cut you short. I'm sorry, bro. Um, what is how do you feel about Nick Casario? Just
Nick
overall.
Casario, I'm going to say honestly, this is a guy whose speciality is supposed to be on the offensive side of the ball. He was a former wide receivers coach at John Carroll, his alma mater, where all of his buddies come from.
Hmm.
Most of our hits have been on the defensive side of the ball, but our best coaches are also on the defensive side of the ball. So now when we look at it and we break it down with the draft picks, you can say, okay, well, he hit on CJ. Well, there were two quarterbacks and the other one was taken. So CJ was probably a given. You could say, okay, he did hit on Nico Collins. And then you could probably throw Tank Dell in there if he was healthy, but Tank ain't been healthy. And he's a smaller wide receiver who cannot stay on the field. So other than that, I think Woody Marks looks good. I'm not going to knock Woody Marks. Woody Marks is pretty much a very good rookie running back. You're not going to find somebody with a more complete, well-rounded skill set.
Hmm.
I like Higgins and all that, but he cannot draft offensive linemen for shit.
But let me challenge you on this because you said that it may be the coaching, and I said it may be the scheme. So what if these guys are just really good and they're in the wrong scheme? Like I don't know, man. Like I said, because I just like okay, he's Kenyon Green. Kenyon went to another team, and okay, he's not making it.
No.
But you got Kenyon as a what, he was like drafted 13 or 15, and you got Fisher and Juice. They was both drafted in the second round.
Hmm.
You know, Titus is the first round pick, and he didn't draft him, but he gave him another contract, and he drafted Ursary. Uh, Patterson, fifth round pick. And then you got the offseason acquisitions with, Tomlinson and, whatever.
And Ingram.
But Ingram, yeah, Ingram. Well, Ingram's more than Tomlinson. But I just feel like that. I don't know if is it that he can't draft offensive linemen, or is it that the scheme and the coaching is not up to par? I don't
Well,
know.
one thing I'm going to tell you from watching everything this year, okay, Cole Popovich, and I love Cole Popovich because he's from Fresno State. That was my hometown. I became a Texans
Mm,
fan because David Carr was a Fresno State quarterback. Don't hold it against me, Texans fans. I swear, it's just because I was born in the town and I knew he was going to be the first overall pick because of the year that he had. So I became a Texas fan. Cole Popovich was a Fresno State offensive lineman.
mm,
So I am a bit biased in this category. I will say that, but I also give very fair and unbiased evaluations. From what I've seen with this offensive line this year,
mm.
the communication is a lot more crisp. You're seeing a lot less of the mental mistakes.
I can
But
agree
when
with
they
that.
do happen, they are egregious. And I will tell you
Mm,
about one uh, after I make this point. But everything has been cleaned up there. So what we're seeing right now and the issues that the Texans are having has to do with a lack of just overall talent. These guys, when they go up against these better defensive tackles, it's
mm,
not that they're playing with bad technique or they're being miscast in the wrong type of scheme. What I'm
mm,
seeing here is just they're being overmatched with talent. When we had those big guys from Seattle in there, they were just taking a lunch. Zach Allen, he was doing the same thing. Vita Vea, same thing. Went against the Rams, it was the same thing. Those big interior guys just sit there, they're overmatched. And it's just, you can do so much with the talent that you have. But at some point, all the coaching in the world is not going to make up for a lack of talent. You got to sit there and raise that talent level. And that's what I'm going to say. And for what I was going to point out to you, if you remember when Jeffrey Simmons blew up Jake Andrews and got like the fastest sack on record, the last
mm.
game that we played the Titans,
Right.
it was like he just basically what they did is they let the clock run down and it was at one and Simmons time to snap. He did an arm over on Andrews and was in the backfield on CJ. They
Mm,
had five guys going to block one guy on the opposite side of the line. They had a
right.
tight end. They had tight ends and everything like that. And this guy was cut from Minnesota. He was like a guy that is like a practice squad pickup because of injuries and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And we got five guys trying to block him. And I've never seen anything so just dumbfounding in my life than that play right there. If you guys go back and watch it, you'll figure it out very, very quickly because I mean Simmons is on CJ like that. So
Yeah.
there are some mental mistakes happening still, but I think overall it's just a lack of talent. We don't also have Joe Mixon back there. And as good as Woody Marks is a poor man's Joe Mixon. I think Woody Marks gives you a little bit more as a receiver, but he does not have that ability to hit those long gainers like Joe Mixon does. He
Yeah.
can hit them and give you consistent ones, but he's not going to break the big ones like Mixon.
Yeah. I mean, Mixon came out of Oklahoma, and he was a dog then.
Yep.
Like, he's been a dog. But hey man, let's go to the Bull Rig. I know we've been neglecting them a little bit. Got Dorso in here. What up, Killer? Hey, what's up, Dorso? Uh, Space Age 713 said my main concern is with the defense containing Josh Allen. Uh, Not with them two dogs on the edge. Now the linebackers. Let me ask you something, Mike.
Yeah.
Are they gonna have a consistent spy on Allen? Because Petrie is not back,
No.
and so are they gonna run 4-2-5? Or you think they're gonna run a 4-3?
Well, if they go 4-2-5, that's going to be Tremont Smith is in the slot, which they do have trust in him. And then if you were to run a spot on Josh Allen, I think the guy that's capable of doing that for you would be EJ Speed. You'd be
Okay.
able to spot him.
Well, if Dalton Kincaid is out, you probably can go more of a 4-3. But we that's me talking, not
Yeah.
knowing the tight end depth that they may have.
Well,
So,
after Kincaid, there's Dawson Knox.
oh yeah.
And Dawson Knox, he's a steady veteran. So he's not chopped liver. He's not like Harrison Bryant that we got here.
Hey, what you got against Harrison, man?
Harrison Bryant? Oh my.
Harrison just haven't had a chance, bro.
No. That man is. It's like somebody swinging a sack of potatoes. It's like, get out my way. I mean, and that's assuming that he gets in somebody's way. Somebody said that he was a blocking specialist when we acquired him, and they lied to us.
Yeah, let me check the. I think Larry Payton said I think Ursher has played well enough to remain left tackle. I kind of agree with that. I just I want to see him play. He played 10 games. I think he's had 7 pretty good games above average.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and rock with that.
I would give him another season. And what I would be looking forward to see is you got Titus Howard at right tackle. You resign
mhm.
Titus for another 1 year deal.
Oh
You
no no
keep
no no.
Early
Oh,
there.
okay. So let me point that out to you about Titus. I had it pulled up. You're not signing Titus to a 1 year deal because next year, 2026, if you move on from Titus, there's a $27 million cap hit. So Titus is going to be on this team next year.
Okay, he is. I thought I his contract is they restructured it, they moved money around and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it lately. I knew he had like 1 or 2 years left.
yeah.
I thought it
Okay,
was
so
gone.
next year, like this year, the cap hit is 11 and a half million.
Well, that makes
N-
this whole conversation just mute because I mean we're not moving off of Titus anyway. He's
We're
playing
not moving,
at a Pro Bowl caliber level.
and shout out to AD. AD said that look, the plan was to move off of Laramie
Yeah.
when we drafted, Fisher, and to move up. No, let me. What was it? No, to move off of
Titus
Titus
with
when we
Fisher.
drafted Fisher, and move off of Laramie when we drafted Ursery. So one of the plans worked, but the other one, Titus is because Fisher is not ready to take that spot. So
Well,
you
Ursary originally was supposed to be the right tackle before the injury to Cam Robinson. Then we had to move him. Titus was expected to play inside. Titus was
right,
supposed to be playing tackle this year.
right, yeah,
So my feeling is just, Titus let him play out his contract, keep Ursary there for all of next season. Look and see if you can see some improvement, some consistency from Ursary. And then at the end of next season, you make your decision based off of that. I think
yeah,
we'll be good enough with Titus and Ursary at our tackles where our main focus needs to be between them and getting better at
right.
our guard and our center positions.
It has to be guard and center because even next year, with the cap hit at 27 million, Titus is going to be 30 years old
Yeah.
as a right tackle. Right
That's them
tackles,
getting into their prime.
that's the prime right there. And then the year after that, he's they have a void year with a unrestricted free agent, and the cap hit will be 13 mil. I think Titus is going to be here for a minute. You need to deal with your interior line.
Absolutely.
You deal with your interior line and get that together, then I think Ursula and Titus they can, they can work at it. And I think you have your guard that's in the building right now. I think he earned the contract.
Ed Ingram.
Ingram has earned the contract.
Yeah.
Let's
Jared
see how
Patterson to me is a valuable backup. I
he's a
love me
valuable
some
backup,
Jared
like
Patterson.
right, because he can go center both guards.
Yep.
So he's like a swing guy. I just want to see what they're gonna do with Fisher. Fisher can be a swing tackle, but I have to get two very imposing guards. So I'm gonna be looking at some film on this guy that you pointed out, Tomas Remick. I'm gonna be looking at him. So
Yeah.
see what
Brandon
he
asked, how much would you pay to keep Trent Brown one more year?
uh hold on. How much Trent Brown for one more year? It depends on the progression of Titus the rest of the year. I looked at Trent Brown, and Trent Brown really looks like a guy that's not in very great football shape.
You notice that.
He just looked like a really, really big guy. Just like it's kind of almost like when I used to coach Little League football, and you had that one kid that was just bigger than everybody else.
Yep.
He couldn't move or nothing like that. He was just strong. He put his hands on you and just throw you out the way like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
That's Trent. I don't know. Trent would have to for me to bring him back, we would have to, because Trent is not that old.
No.
He would have to go on like hey, let's go ahead and work on you're a professional now. Let's go ahead and work on getting your ass in shape, where you need to be. Because other than that, then we can go like this is it. Well, this was his first game, right?
He's
Did he
played
play
2 games
last?
for us now.
Okay, 2 games. So he played 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not impressive.
No. And the
You
conditioning
know,
looks to be pretty
bro,
bad.
that
I
dude,
mean,
that dude
he's
looked like he
lumbering.
was 400 pounds, man.
Yeah. He's like
He looked like he was like
6'8", 380.
he's six, yeah, 6'8". They say 380. That dude looked like every bit of 400 bills. So that's
I'll
one of the
say the
guys.
same thing.
Yeah, that's one of the guys that, and I think Mark Slared was like, hey, you got to move your feet, like move, like he's not moving his feet. So, uh,
He looked
man,
like a little Vince Wilfork out there.
right, and Vince was at his highest was like, well, I can't say his highest because Vince was looking like a spark plug out there, but Vince was nothing but like 6'3", I think.
Yeah.
They said they had him listed at 6'4", but I think Vince was like 6'2.5", 250. But let's go back to the bull ring right quick, man. Larry Payton said, "Yep, Coleman was a healthy scratch for being late to meetings." Okay, I hope he late this week. I think Brandon said, I think Ed Oliver had a couple of games where he was destroying people. Yeah, he was.
Yep.
Space Age said, Kirk is done, y'all. Don't have it anymore. Uh, Look, I'm going with Noel. But I think that if somewhere down the line in the playoffs, I think that veteran experience can still it can do something. I'm not leaning on it, you
Yeah.
know.
I got
Eve,
one thing
once
for you real
again.
quick.
Yeah, what's up, man?
We just gotta send some thoughts and some prayers out to a former Texas player. He got shot up there in New York. Chris Boyd.
Chris Board,
He's
yeah.
in critical condition up in there. So, former
Yeah, yeah.
Texan, we got to take care of our own. So, I hope that he's all right. He's able to pull through and he gets back to doing what he does. So,
Yeah, that's true, man. At the end of the day, man, this is a game. This is a spectator activity for us. This is a game for them. But yeah, that's some real life shit for them. Anytime, and we didn't hit that much on CJ concussion because I didn't. I really didn't want to go off into that much. I mean, at the end of the day, if he can play, he can play. If he can't, he can't. Like I can't question a guy's concussion. I've had a couple of concussions before. I don't know,
well,
but
when they
if
said
you
last week he was still like, as of Friday, having light sensitivity, and then we had the short week, I knew we were going to be hard pressed to get him in here. I mean,
let
there's
me
a
let, let,
chance that,
let me say this. CJ has a very good receiving core. Offense coordinator is still kind of iffy, whatever. But CJ has the number one defense. And if CJ believes in his skills, I don't see why he would feel like that. Yeah, I just don't want to play because I just don't want to play. Like every quarterback in the league would be like, oh, yeah, we got the number one defense. Yes, I really want to play. But I just feel like that this is the reason why that Nick Casario and the Texans organization paid Davis Mills. And
yeah.
let's go out there for Thursday, man, and just, wrap this damn thing up and shit. Let's see what happens from that, man. So,
Well, I'm going to say this. As far as CJ's concussion goes, I mean, this is league policy. It's not in D'Amico's hands. It's not anything the Texans could do, and it's not in
right.
CJ's hand. He has to go through and clear the concussion protocol and
Hmm.
be cleared before he's eligible to go back out there and play. And
Right.
there's just not been enough time for him to do that. As far as Davis Mills go, people want to call him a backup, whatever you may want to say about Davis Mills. I will say this for Davis Mills. Davis Mills can be a starter for a team and be a good bridge quarterback for them to their future potential quarterback.
Yeah.
There are teams out there that could use Davis Mills right now. The New York Jets are one of them. I can tell you
Hmm.
that right now. I think he could go to Pittsburgh and be a great fit in there if
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers decides to
yeah.
hang it up.
Yeah.
He could have
Yeah.
taken the job in New Orleans this offseason as well and been a starter
I
right
think
now.
New Orleans, I think the Raiders.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he can go to the Raiders. I mean,
he'd
because
beat Geno Smith in a heartbeat.
yeah. So,
So yeah, is Davis Mills is probably within the top 5 of all backup quarterbacks in the National Football League in terms of just if you were to sit there and people don't talk about him as much, but Davis
hmm.
Mills for me is a top 5 backup in this league. He is a guy that does exactly what you want out of a backup quarterback. When you throw
Right.
him in that game, he goes out there and he executes the offense. It's not
Hmm.
flashy, it's not spectacular, but he gets the job done. That's what you pay your backup quarterback for.
Right. Yeah. Hey, hey, check this out, man. Hey, bro, we've been rocking it, man. Like this
Yeah.
has been. I only wanted to do an hour show because I got to get up in the morning. But man, we was able to. We have to get you back on there, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
we
before we
we
go,
gonna.
just real quick, man,
Uh-huh.
what do you think about the Texans playoffs chances right now?
I love it because we beat Buffalo. We're gonna beat Kansas City. Um,
Kansas
nothing
City just
about
lost to Denver too.
right. Um, Nothing scares me about Indy. I think we can sweep them. Um, I think that we're 5-5. We can go. We really can run the table. I just have to the defense tell me we can run the table. The offense is what concerns me.
Yeah.
So my thing is I'm not concerned at all. But I'm gonna ask you this question because I don't do a lot of hate watching. I watch games. I'm a root against you. I'm a root for you. But the game that the Colts have to play Kansas City, what would you prefer?
Oh man. Well, I would prefer it
Because
being the Colts get
I
knocked out
think
of the
they
playoffs altogether because I am a
well
everybody
so
says they're
hold on.
rival.
So I think they play this week, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah.
Same page says that the Texans are in the eighth spot right now, so we're still outside looking in. And I think we got like 2 games behind the next spot for us to be able to jump up. I think they're all 7-3. I think that's Jacksonville and the Chargers, who are 7-3. I believe Buffalo is in there. So the Texans need some help in order. We're going to face the Chiefs, the Chargers, and also the Buffalo Bills. We're going to face the Colts twice. I see us. There's 3 games we could win that I would say for sure, which is going to be the Raiders, the Cardinals, and the Chargers are the ones that I feel we can win. The 2 games
Oh.
against the Colts and the game against Kansas City and Buffalo, we are going to have to find our offense in order for us to
Hmm.
win those games. Now, with 3 wins, that puts us at 8 wins. That's not going to be good enough for us to be able to get a wild card spot this year. I think for a
No.
wild card spot this year, we're going to need to be at least 10 or 11 games.
Right. Um.
So with 8, we got to win at least 2 more of those games against Indianapolis 2 times, the Colts or the
Yeah.
Bills. So we got to
I
find a way
think
to win
we
one of those.
me. I think this is the year, and it's going to be crazy. I think this is the year that we beat Baltimore, which we did. I think this is the year that we beat Kansas City and we beat Buffalo.
Baltimore will be back in the playoffs. Pittsburgh
Yeah.
6-4. They jumped back to 5-5. And Aaron Rodgers was just diagnosed with a hairline fracture in his left wrist, but he's still going
Yeah.
to be a game time decision. And I don't really
But
have too much trust.
yeah, I specifically pointed out the Kansas City game because they playing the Colts. And so I was like, the Colts are 8-2. Kansas City is 5-5.
Division's already out of the reach, so just go ahead and
No,
let.
no, it's really not, bro. It's really not because I'm gonna tell you why. You finna trip out. It's really not because as much as I think that I want the Chiefs to lose because they'll go 5-6, we'll go 6-5, and we got to play them. That'll give us a 2-game lead over the Chiefs. The Colts have the Chiefs. They have us. Okay, they got the Falcons. Oh, no, 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 no. Let me take it back. They got the. Hold on. What is the? Hold on. I had the schedule pulled up right now, and it's. Hold on. God damn. Man, okay, so right now I got the schedule pulled up. We have where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Okay, so we got damn, I done clicked off of it again. Hey, give me a moment, bro. I'm having a moment right here.
ESPN be jumpy on you.
Yeah, man. Shit, this shit is crazy.
They do that all the time, though. It's something with their website setup.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Colts schedule. All right, so it's the Chiefs next. And then they have us, the Texans. They have the Jaguars, which is not easy. They got the Seahawks. They got the 49ers. And then they have us again. So that's not out of because Seattle have a great defense. 49ers is 49ers. You got 2 against Jacksonville, which I'm saying that's a split. And you got 2 against us. So they're not out of the water. They are 8-2 right now. Man, I'm not seeing that they're gonna finish with 12, 13 wins. I'm not seeing that. They have a tough schedule.
They do, but when they play us, we know the defense is on point.
Right.
The question is not the defense. The question is, can we put up enough
Don't
points?
put enough points. Yeah. That's getting anybody.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah. I get that. Because they've been putting up 30s all year long.
yeah.
They've been putting up
And
30s like all year long.
they
So
haven't looked like the same old Colts this year.
nah.
And Jonathan Taylor has been playing at an MVP caliber level. And he is a notorious Texans killer. That is
Yeah.
the number one piece we got to watch out for when we play the Colts. But you know, my deal is I just don't know if this offense could pull it together enough for us to make a run for the playoffs. Because usually when you see an offense that is bad, it
Hmm.
only marginally improves. And this offense, with the problems that we have in the red zone and some of the third down problems, and we're already in week 12 and we're still trying to figure out our rotation of players. I just don't like that too much. And
Right.
I hate being negative about it. I love my Texans. I root for them.
Hmm.
I may predict them to sit there and lose because my gut feeling tells me otherwise. But I hope that they will win, and I will root for them to win every time. Even though I sit there and may predict something else, I am a Texans fan for life, and I want the Texans to make the playoffs this year, especially so because the AFC is so upside down right now. The Bills are not somebody that is a juggernaut. The Chiefs aren't a juggernaut. The Ravens
Right.
aren't a juggernaut. This is wide open. And if you had the 2023 offense with this defense right now, this team would be undefeated at this point in the season.
Yeah.
I am not kidding you. We would be 10-0 right now
Right.
because
I
every game
agree.
we played has been a one possession game. And we need that offense to be able to at least give us 24 points a game. That's all we need. It's not
Yeah,
asking much.
24 at the minimum. Yeah.
And we can sit there and start making a run. But,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard with Buffalo this week with no CJ. That's going to be a big challenge for us. And division rival games, 2 against the Colts, those are never guaranteed. So
Hmm.
I hope the Texans do. My feeling is we're probably going to win about 8 games, and it's not going to be enough.
Mm. Then we're gonna win 8. So you think we're gonna go 8, 9?
3 more wins.
Oh my God. Mm-mm.
Unless I see something different out of this offense right now from where I'm sitting, I only see us beating the Chargers, the Cardinals, and the Raiders because we can't put enough points up to go with Buffalo, especially without CJ. Kansas City, that could be a flip flop game right there.
But
What you call that coin flip
you don't
win.
think D'Amico defense have made quarterbacks look silly this year?
They do, but when you're facing an elite quarterback like Allen and Mahomes, the problem
Yeah,
is not Dan D'Amico
like we faced Allen and Mahomes,
in different
and
seasons.
yeah, but this defense this year is better than it was last year.
Yes, but here's the problem with your defense. Your offense is having too many 3-and-outs. They're not sustaining drives. And your defense is having to hold and they're on the field too long. That is the main problem that the Texans defense. This defense would have historical numbers right now if they were not
Mm.
out there on that field so long. But the problem is they are not sustaining drives. There's too many 3-and-outs. And this offense is just not executing for that defense to be able to get on the sideline, get the breather. That's my
I
feeling on this. You
I
give
think if CJ comes back, because one of the things that I remember was it was one game that I had pointed out that we had like a 40-20 time of possession. And I think we had like a drive that was like 10 minutes long. What I think halftime, we was already at over 20 minutes time of possession. So And this is with like I can't remember what game it was, but it was still like a bad offense.
Yep.
So my thing is I think that they need to go back to like when CJ comes back, go back to Nick Chubb and use Woody Marks out of the as the reserve. But I think they have enough, like, the way that Dalton Schultz been playing and the chemistry is going to build up. I think that we can keep certain quarterbacks off the field long enough. Like I mean, I don't fear Patrick Mahomes this year. I didn't fear him last year. It's
No.
just that it was just a couple of plays that it was like, wow, they pulled it out. Like this year, hey, and I'm gonna say this because we gotta end it, man.
Yeah.
I seen a snippet of a video and they was talking about Kansas City running the ball and Andy Reid said something to the extent of, yeah, I call the plays, but in today's football, miraculously or something like that, a run play turns into a pass play.
Yeah.
Hey, the Chiefs are 5-5 right now. They don't look like the Chiefs haven't looked like the Chiefs. Like last year, they won, I think it was like 6 or 7 one score games. I think they were like 6-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
They're not winning those games this year.
No.
So that's a whole different team. Like the nostalgia of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and him catching Tom Brady and all that. Like that looks cute, but like Kansas City does not scare me. So
But here's
the
what you
the
got in that matchup, Killer, is you got two very good defenses. And
uh
then when you get down to it, if I were to say to you that if you give Patrick Mahomes enough opportunities, can he find a way to beat you?
yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Do you feel that same way with the Houston Texans, keeping this in mind? The only teams that the Texans have beaten that have winning records this year, San Francisco 49ers, and they were really banged up when we played them. The Jacksonville Jaguars, where we showed what Trevor Lawrence really is. I think the Chargers are a beat up team and they caught them on a bad day. I don't think the Jaguars are that great. Other than that, we have not beaten a team with a winning record this year. That is why I feel like even though Kansas City's a 5-5, I still trust Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid more than I trust Nick Caley over here on this end. And they can go defense to defense with us. So it comes down to which offense do you trust to make more plays. And for me, right now, from what I've seen with the red zone and everything like that, I would probably go more in favor of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid than I would with Nick Caley right now.
Mm. Well, I know when we played San Francisco, I'm looking it up. I think San Francisco was 5-2.
Yeah, they
And
had a winning record.
yeah, but yeah, the injuries, like we had injuries too.
We did.
So yeah, they had a winning record or whatever, but I think the games that we did end up losing, like and you pointed this out earlier. So I think that we had a chance to beat um the Broncos, the Rams. I think the only team that really beat us, they had a better game plan, great defense. That was Seattle. I just didn't like the way that it looked. But every other game, we had a chance to win.
We
And
still had a chance at the end of the Seattle game, too.
yeah, we did.
That
I
game
just
had
think that
it had no business being as close as it was, but we were still within striking distance of Seattle, even though
yeah,
they dominated us for most of that game.
yeah. I just didn't like the running attack. I got it pulled up. Like Chubb was 5 for 16 and Woody Marks was 10 for 15. That to me, like that was one of the biggest difference of the game. But nevertheless, man, it's been a great show, bro.
Yep. Let's
Um,
shout out the guys in the bull ring and then let's take it home, Killer.
Yeah, so we got you, Miller Mike. Thanks for stepping in for Patton and Doctor uh stepping in for Nitty. And we got Space Age. He was in here. Of course, Brandon always.
Brandon
We
Soul.
got we got Eve. Eve is a great supporter. Thanks for coming in with a couple of comments. Let's see what else. Who we have? Of course, I said Doc Larry Payton. Dorso, what's up, killer? Hey, appreciate you stepping in, man.
JJ
Let's
Blackshear.
JJ Blackshear. He's getting paid 16 million, not doing nothing. I forgot what that conversation was about, but that's
That was
probably
about
about
Christian Kirk.
Kristen Kirk. I was about to say that. And we are going to let's see. Boy, Brandon is I tell you, boy, Brandon just really supports. So
Yep.
hey man, it's been a great show, man. I was only set to do like an hour because I gotta get up in the morning, but
Yeah, I got to get
man,
up here in like 4:30 in the morning, anyways, too. So I know how it
yeah.
is, and it's 10:15 my time here, so I'm in Florida.
Yeah, well, hey, we're definitely gonna do a show Friday. I don't know what you got going on Friday.
I'm off on Friday, so if you guys need me, I'm here. Just
Okay.
Pat's got my
We we
number. Anybody else?
we never had five of us in a session together. So
That
I
may
don't
make
know
it
if
difficult with StreamYard. I don't know. I've seen four a lot of times. I don't know if they've seen
okay.
five, but I mean, if you guys need me, you know, just send up the mellow signal or hit me up on my Motorola pager. You guys will get me, man.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you on that next tail. I'm gonna hit you on that chirp. Hey man, well, appreciate the audience, man, and thanks everybody for tuning in. And right now we out of here, man. We finna just go ahead and end the stream right now, and we'll holler at y'all boys on Friday, man. Hey Mike, salute to you, man, and have a great night, bro.
Appreciate it, killer.
All right, later, bro.
Later.